Good evening. We have received an update to the leaked recording from the Gulf Summit. The debate over maritime asset scaling has shifted from logistics to total market dominance. Let's listen.
Welcome back. Today we've got a cold-blooded business showdown. 2 billionaires, one region, and a fight over who really controls the next era of Gulf maritime power. And honestly, this is bigger than one flashy ship purchase.
Yeah, totally. At the center of it is a very real strategic idea. In the Gulf, owning transport infrastructure can matter more than squeezing profits out of a single quarter. If you control vessels, routes, port access, and offshore service capacity, you're not just running ships, you're shaping trade itself.
So when our challenger says, you're looking at the quarterly report, I'm looking at the next 2 decades, that's not just ego, right? That's a worldview.
Exactly. He's basically arguing that scale now creates power later. And that idea has some backing in the real market. Recent reporting shows major logistics and shipping players in and around the region are still investing in integrated port and transport networks, even during disruption. The logic is, if trade routes get messy, the owners of hard infrastructure become more valuable, not less.
Sure.
And that matters even more because Gulf shipping has been under serious pressure this year. Reports in 2026 described blockages, rerouted traffic, and ships stranded or delayed around the Strait of Hormuz. So a businessman promising supply chain control is speaking straight into a moment of regional anxiety.
Right, because in that environment, the phrase, I call it sovereignty, lands differently. It sounds dramatic, but also kind of calculated.
Exactly. He's using sovereignty almost like a corporate weapon. Not political sovereignty, obviously, but operational sovereignty. The ability to move goods, fuel offshore projects, and keep commerce flowing when everyone else is waiting for clarity.
But then the defensive billionaire comes back with the classic warning. You're overleveraged, you're moving too fast, and if the market turns, that giant ship becomes dead weight.
That's the rational counterpoint. Vessel markets can swing hard. In fact, recent industry coverage shows ship values and charter rates have been unusually volatile, with war risk and delivery delays pushing prices around. So, yeah, buying expensive tonnage at speed can look visionary, unless timing goes wrong.
So both men might be right?
Honestly, yes. One is betting that scarcity and instability reward bold ownership. The other is warning that debt and asset concentration can crush even rich operators. And in maritime, both stories have happened before.
Then comes the ice-cold closer. The ships are purchased, the contracts are signed. By next month, the question won't be whether I overreached. That line says the decision window is already closed.
Right. He's signaling irreversible momentum. And that also reflects the real offshore vessel market, where new contract awards, fleet expansions, and long-term support deals have continued in 2026. Once those assets and agreements are locked in, competitors can't respond overnight. They're left watching from the dock, just like he says.
So, who is actually positioned for Gulf maritime dominance?
The short answer. Not necessarily the richest man, and not necessarily the most cautious one. It's the operator who can combine capital, contracts, and resilience. In today's Gulf market, dominance means surviving disruption while still moving cargo, servicing offshore energy, and staying connected to ports and inland logistics.
In other words, this isn't really about one £80 million ship.
Exactly. It's about whether that ship is part of a wider system. Because if it is, then the challenger looks early. If it isn't, then the defensive billionaire looks wise. And that's why this story feels so sharp. It's a duel between ambition and balance sheet reality.
And that is where we'll leave it. Cold developments indeed. In the Gulf, the next maritime king may not be the loudest buyer, but the one who turns steel, contracts, and timing into control. Thanks for listening.